Okay, I think we are all here. Okay, apologies. Let me get back to where we're supposed to be. Okay, let me quickly. I'm going to. No, I don't want happycode.org. All right, let me see. So, Ethan, there's Ethan. Where is Lauren? Lauren, I am not seeing you in here.
How do I sign up for that then?
Okay, Lauren, I've sent you 3 emails. Let me, I got it, 1 second. Let me, we can do this in a heartbeat, okay? Okay, so we are Mr. Swift's period 2, correct? Okay, I'm gonna put this in the chat. Those last 6 letters, the FNJ, RLJ, those are the sign-up code. But I think if you just click that link, it should take you in and get you signed up. So you just are going to go into code.org and you're going to sign up with this link, FNJRLJ. I think this email should take you right there.
Okay.
But I think you're the last person I need to make sure is in there. Okay? Let me know if that has issues. Let me just go over our general schedule and we'll touch base back there. Okay? All righty. Now, where was I in my maze of stuff? I believe this is us. Ooh. Okay, so I want to go into my presentation. Okay, everyone seeing and hearing this full screen? Full screen, it's all working? Okay, yeah. So to start off with, today is going to be U5L8 Loops Make. So we're going to be creating a Loops app. We have a warm-up in Canvas, just 2 questions. If you want to be working on that right now, that's great. I will quickly go over it. And then I have a little treat for Black History Month. On great Black computer scientists. So what is due? What was due yesterday was your U5L4 lists make. I apologize, somehow I ended up with 2 turn-ins, but I don't think anyone in this class had a problem. So the other one has been deleted. It is the one that is there. It is 14 points. They are only practice points. So make sure that those get in. It looks like I've got a lot. Today, what is due is the warm up on Canvas. You should have finished your U5L7 loops practice over the week, over yesterday. We are going to be working on U5U. It's not U5U6. Hang on. I can solve this for us. One of the few things I know how to do. U5L6. Okay. That is going to be our loops make, okay? That is going to be due on 2/13, all right? So it's probably about a week out. Phoebe is saying there is no warm-up. I just put the warm-up in there, so I apologize if it hasn't set, but it should be right there. There was a fix to it this morning. There we go. I did not. I swear it was turned on in the assignments, but it didn't import turned on. Apologies. Always ask for something like that. Sometimes I'm building these modules right in the morning, and I apologize that I will insert something and then it doesn't get published. I need to hit the green button to make sure that you can see it. So apologies for that. All right, let's get back into what we are doing. So actually, let's go. If I look down here at my calendar, That's sort of interesting. This is saying this is due on a Saturday. I'm not quite sure why. It seems a little weird to me. But basically, you're going to have a week to do it. Our objective or goal today is that you will be able to implement programming patterns with loops to develop a functioning app. Write comments to clearly explain both the purpose and function of the different sections of code, okay? Write comments to clearly explain both the purpose and the function of the different sections of the code. So this is the idea when it's my up button. I don't just say this is my up button. I say this is my up button. It counts likes up. So I tell you what it is. The physical thing is the up button. I tell you what it does. It counts likes. How does it count likes? It counts likes up, okay? So try and be as clear as you can, but you are trying to say what it is, what it does, and how it does that. It's so that you understand what this code is doing. So many students have lost 3 points because they are not putting comments appropriately on their apps. We are almost always asking you for comments, and they seem to come in a 3-point category. So if you don't put comments on, it's going to hurt. All right. Let's look at one little thing before we get into our day. Well, actually, somebody had a question earlier. I think it was about submitting their app last time, where it was supposed to go. Anyone have questions or problems with submitting the U5L4 app? We're looking at this. Okay, I swear.
Is it okay? Is it okay if I submitted it late because like there wasn't a submit option before? Just to reinforce, this might change because this is semester 2 and things are getting more solidified. For semester 1, I was not dinking anyone for turning in things late. This is because it is COVID. We are all incredibly stressed, and our mission as your teachers are to try and take as much of that stress off you as we can. So do not fear. I am not dinking you if you get something in late. Get it in, as soon as you can. Ask me for help. Ask your fellow students. Something I did want to emphasize is this idea of ask 3 and then me. You're supposed to be asking 3 of your fellow students for ideas on your coding before you ask me for help when you're really stuck. The reason I am emphasizing this is a strategy you guys are going to need to work on in the next couple weeks. Who are the good coders in your class? How can you get their emails? How can you get them to like you and respond to you? When we are doing our AP build, I cannot help you. It is forbidden that I give you any advice whatsoever on building your app. But student advice is totally allowed. You guys can coach each other and help each other out in making your app. If someone actually gives you code, like gave you a button that you couldn't figure out, you can use that button, but you need to attribute it in your comments that my friend Ned Grady created this button in our class and allowed me to use it in my application. So you need to attribute it, but you can do it. You guys are going to be your best resource for help doing the AP build. So it's a little bit of a dance that you need to figure out who are your friends that are good coders. Make sure that you take care of them. Look, Matt Hager, you are just amazing. Thank you so much. Matt has put his name and his email in the chat saying that he could help people if they have issues. That is really wonderful. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Let's see if I can get a list of our strong coders who would be interested in offering help like Matt is. I don't want to force anyone to have to work with anyone else. You guys are all individuals, but we are a team. We are all trying to lift each other over the line and hopefully get a 3 or better on our AP. I did get college credit for my 3 on my AP for biology. Look, Kyle too, there's another one. Thank you, Kyle. That is very, very kind of you. Let me just copy those down so that I have them. Okay, so those are just some words of advice in terms of strategy and what you are going to need to do. Sorry, I am doing strange things on my computer. And of course I can't copy that, but with luck, it's going to send it to me. Well, hang on, let me just write down. Matt Hager and Kyle. I know there are others out there that are really good, but I just want to let everyone have a little space, and I will try and figure out if we can have a list of people who are interested in helping. Okay? I want to give you as much time as possible today, but I did just want to quickly, in honor of Black History Month, just go through, because I had a question myself. You know, are there great Black computer science pioneers? I didn't really know. Again, I am not an expert on computer science pioneers. I know that Bill Gates is a big one, but I thought this list was very interesting. And it really goes back to Katherine Johnson. I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Hidden Figures, that she was one of the mathematicians that was responsible. Oh, so here we are. So starting in 1953, Johnson worked as a human computer at NASA doing calculations essential. Key to success of Project Mercury and the Apollo 11 mission. Apollo 11 was the first time man went to the moon. When NASA began using digital computers, she helped confirm the accuracy of those computer calculations. They couldn't trust the computer calculations. These were brand new. No one had ever used a computer before. Her story is amazing. Maybe we'll do one a day. Let me just look at Evelyn Granville. Evelyn Granville was a mathematician born in 1924, one of the first African-American women to earn a PhD in mathematics from Yale in 1949. Joined IBM in 1956 as a programmer, writing software programs for the IBM 650 computer. That is one of the first IBMs. At IBM's Aviation Space Information Systems division, Granville worked on various projects for NASA's Apollo space program, including digital computer techniques. So those are 2, I've got 7. Let's maybe just, you know, let's read about one every day. All right, I know everyone is very anxious to get to our main event. Just before we get into this, any other problems, issues, questions? All right, does the schedule make sense? The app's going to be due in a week. I will get in and be grading these apps, etc. All right. So Unit 5, Lesson 8, loops make. So lists make. Lock screen maker. So navigate to Lesson 8, Level 2 in your code.org. Oh, sorry, we didn't do the warm-up. Let's do our warm-up.
I had a quick question.
Sure.
So the work that we do in class, like the lesson 8, like the lesson we were just about to do in class, is that graded also?
This is going to be graded because you need to turn in the app.
Okay.
Typically, I'll tell you a secret, which I shouldn't. It's questionable whether we grade the practice session. A lot of times what we will grade will be the last 2 circles or something. So try and make sure to work on those last 2 circles in the practice. Typically, those are the most important skills for your build that you will be doing. In the practice, they go over all the skills. The first things that you're looking at are usually looking at the very basic skills. Setting up, you know, your counting variable, assigning your counting variable, those kinds of things. The last one is an app that will have code that is doing things very similar to your make. So we do want to make sure that you go through the practice. So that's why we check like the last circles to see that you've actually gone through it. It's usually we will tell you if it's going to be graded. I do not think this one is graded. Okay, but it's always a little tricky because we all trade off making our lessons. All right. Okay. So everyone is going to be going into lesson 8, unit 5, level 2 of code.org. All right, let me get back into present mode so that you can actually see this. What you're going to do is try the app. Try using the different combinations of inputs. What does each button change? What does it not change? This is sort of a weird app. You'll see. Discuss in breakout rooms where, if at all, do you think this app is using a list? Where, if at all, do you think this app is using a loop? Well, we're combining both loops and lists. All right, do this. Make the lock screen maker. Use the activity guide to plan out your code, including the variables you'll create and the event handlers. Step 3 includes steps you can follow to build the app, or you can use your own process. No, I understand about picking breakout rooms, and we can try and work towards that. Ms. Rudnick has shown me. The problem is half the people can't do it because they're on Chromebooks, etc. What I have found, and I think particularly as we're leading up to the AP, is by doing random breakout rooms, at least everyone's going to be meeting a few more people because nobody knows who everyone is in this class. I'd like you to try and understand who are the good coders or people that you could look to help you. And ideally, if you've worked with them a little before, they're going to be more amenable to helping you. I've gotten a lot of emails from students saying, I have emailed everyone in my breakout room and no one is responding. I understand that we're all busy, etc. But I want all of you to develop a little network of people that you can talk to. And some of these are your friends, Matt and Kyle, who have volunteered to let you talk to them. But I think it's going to help everyone in the class to know each other a little better and be able to ask for help or interchange, because you guys are going to be your best support in the AP. Okay, thank you, Noah. So don't forget, check the rubric before submitting. All right, so our rubric, so the way that I grade your apps is I just go down this column and I say, on events are created for all the required inputs, 3 points. Variables and lists are created appropriately used for all pieces of information used in the app. Great, 3 points. Loops, the program correctly uses loops for all 3 buttons to generate the expected output. Cool, you've got loops. Output, all 3 buttons work as expected to move icons, change their colors, and change their icon to a random new icon. Wow, what the heck is that? You will find out. Code runs without errors, 3 points. Comments, comments are used to correctly explain the purpose and functionality of both the function and the event handlers. So ideally, you want labels on your function, explaining how it is setting the screen, on your on events, explaining what they are, like the up button. And I believe you also want to put a comment on your if else tree. Whatever decision tree you have in your function is going to need a label, and just say that this is, determining the correct value for my ticket or something like that. You don't need to say exactly what it's doing, but you need to identify this is it is running through all our options. All right. far as I know, that is it. So there is optional, not required. Some of you are incredibly good coders and I actually had someone turn in this app this morning. Okay. So drill for loops, click here, make sure that you're logged into Replit. Replit is a computer programming tool. It's like an app for programming. For this drill, click on the fork button at the top of the Replit to save a copy to your account. Do this, write a function called find grade that takes an array of grades and, and an individual grade as it inputs and returns the number of times the grade appears in the array, including +s and -s. I am not sure what that is. That is my friend Nathan, who is an incredible coder. If for some reason you get your app done and have time to spare, please feel free to try that out. I am not expecting it. Okay, so let me just make sure that everyone knows where you're, so right here, U5L8 loops make. This is going to be a 12 assessment point app. You just click this and that's your worksheet. Okay, here is your worksheet. The other place to figure out the requirements for your app, other than the rubric, are usually if you scroll down here to step 3, write your code. Steps you can follow: create all variables for your table above. Gee, that's the first 3 points. Give your variables a starting value using the assignment operator equals. Create blank event handlers on events for each screen element in your table above. That's another 3 points. Write the code to make sure each of the 3 buttons works. That's always good. Hint, in order to create random colors, use the RGBA block with random number. Read the documentation for these blocks if you need more help. Those are always up in your, up above where you're building your app. There are hints and suggestions. Use your debugging skills to identify unexpected behavior and fix your program. Comment your code as you go, explaining what each event handler does. That's it, okay? We have until, what, 11:15, right? So we have a little over a half hour to be working on your apps, all right? So you are going to...
I had another question about the activity guides.
Sure.
So do we have to turn them in for every single like app?
You
or-
have to turn your activity guide in for every single app. And yes, your activity guide needs to be all filled out. That is how I grade you. I will look in your code.org account, so you don't need to turn in your code. If you want, you can put a link to your code in the activity guide. If you use App Lab, this is a big thing. I cannot see that. If I look in your code.org and it says you've never touched it, I am going to assume you have never touched it. If I do not get an activity guide with a link to your app, I can do nothing but assume that you haven't done anything. So I've had this problem a bunch. Make sure you click the share button in the upper left corner, and that gives you a link. Just drop the link, at the top of your activity guide or typically above the rubric. I will find it and look at it, okay? I just want everyone, the reason the activity guide is so important is it goes into Canvas, and Canvas tells me who has turned something in and who hasn't, who's turned something in late. If it's in code.org, I have no idea when things are turned in or done there. So the activity guide is my cue to do something. And if I tell you some mistakes that you have, again, you guys can fix your apps as many times as you want up until the grading period. So go back and fix it, okay? But let me know if you have just turned something into code.org and not resubmitted your activity guide or something, because it won't pop up on Canvas for me. All right, that's enough of me droning away. So go to lesson 8, level 2 in unit 5. You need to check out this app, see how it works, talk with your breakout room. I've turned on sharing. You can share, have your best coder sharing. You guys can all work as a team on this, okay? So it's tricky. It's a little different than anything you've seen before. Let's get in there and have fun. All right, let me get my breakout rooms. So I will try and do breakout rooms of 3, if not 4, just because I feel that more people is going to make this easier. Okay, so this should be rooms of 3 to 4. It's just going to be for today, I believe. All right. Let me take a quick look. Even though I don't know everyone, I always try and make sure the distribution seems good. Okay, in you go, talk to each other, use the share, get each other's emails, see if anyone is willing to be your lead person. Okay, I will bring us out, probably a minute before the end of class. Jeff, Candace? Jeffrey? Candace? Can I help you? Candace? Candace? You okay, Candace? Candace? Candace, are you there? Guys, what the fuck? Okay. All right. We are just, anybody problems, issues? Is it all making sense? So we have a week to work on this. That is your homework. For the moment, here's our thing. I will have a new one for us tomorrow. It is 11:15. We are done. If anybody has questions or problems, you can hang out, but otherwise, we're all set.
Thank you so
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Like I say, look at that
Thank you.
second to last circle if you're having trouble.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Swift.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye, guys. Thanks, everyone, for signing up.